just from university, got into the business. I was an assistant originally for 2 brokers, got licensed, and then did CFA level 1. Didn't know that much about the business, but I had thought and heard that Goldman Sachs was the best firm in the world. So that's kind of what I wanted to do. I had been a competitive figure skater in Canada as well as the US. I trained there as well. So I kind of knew a little bit about the US in terms of having grown up there. So, so I thought, you know, kind of just I'll branch out. If I'm going to know the business, if you're going to, in my opinion, really understand the markets and the global markets. I basically pursued William Blair, which is very, very well known for their quality research. So I actually ended up getting an equity research job. So I was a junior analyst on the sell side, covering specialty retail and e-commerce back in the tech boom, which was exciting because nobody really knew what we were doing. And you know, we created the models, created the terms, eyeballs, and it was also the time, this was back in 98, 97, 98, where you could actually work with the investment bankers. Now you can't do that. So we did a lot of the .com deals. That was great. But in terms of that story too, I mean, it was tough. I knew I really didn't have any training, and I think that's part of Wall Street is you just, you know, sink or swim, and you want it or you don't. And I wanted it. And then from there, I really wanted Goldman Sachs, so I called Goldman, and they normally go to the big schools, right? And I didn't have that, but they like athletes. So, so I ended up getting the job there, which was phenomenal training. I mean, that was really, the research was phenomenal training and definitely a step function for me in terms of what my opportunities might become. And then Goldman Sachs was just a whole new world. I mean, their reach and tentacles around the world is, you know, insurmountable. And the minute you're in there, you know, you're 27, 26, whatever you are, they bought into you. You go through 32 interviews, at least, anywhere from 28 to 40. And they never tell you where you're at or how well you've done. You know, you do 8 a day maybe. And again, I was flying, you know, to meet them, and I didn't have much money. So I didn't know when to book my flight, so I'd book it, you know, at 11 at night practically to make it back to Chicago for my job the next day, because, you know, you just don't know. And then they say, you know, the response to you is like, well, we'd like you to come back. That's how you know you're actually moving ahead, but you don't know it when you're 27 that that's how the role plays. And so I got that job, and that was amazing, you know, because you traveled with some of the biggest companies and corporations in the world, and when they buy into you, they really do. Like, so they train you, and you're included in everything, every piece of information. And then I went to Deutsche Bank after that for 5 years, did really well there, and covered the biggest hedge funds and money managers, so people who really can move the markets, which is pretty interesting and powerful, and is, in my opinion, as even though they're institutions and might run, you know, $1 billion up to $100 billion, there's still such a human element. So when we try to, I think, bring that to market sense, you know, it's not black and white. There's chatter that goes on these trading desks that move the markets. There's speculation, and it's human nature. A lot of human nature, and how do they feel, and how do they think their competitor feels. So that all that gets factored in. I had the opportunity to go to London with my partner who ran the Deutsche Bank Chicago office. He now runs Deutsche Bank for all of Europe and Asia. So we did really well as a team, but I didn't go because I felt like I'd kind of already been there, done that to a degree, and I didn't want to move to London for various reasons. But I ended up starting a small broker dealer, so a small investment bank that was women and minority owned, which in the States has, Obama actually put this legislation in to have pension funds and large institutions actually trade with women and minorities. And it's very, very powerful. It's worked. If you've seen the movie The Pursuit of Happiness, he actually kind of played into that model.